Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here. No one's here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm running late. I'm sorry I had some trouble and then getting on. I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge and do the music. There's no one on yet. There should be someone here by the time I get back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I'm ready to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I'm gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Yes, God bless the USA. You know, no matter how disappointed I get. Hello, everyone. Jeffrey and Bill and Kevin, Gary, Lindate, Patrick, Myrna, Johnny Holiday, Janet, Bill Woods. No matter how much of a day I'm having, guys, and I've I've had some days. I think I scared Ron last night. He was in bed and I came down to see, check on him because I get a phone call yesterday, everyone, guys. And you have to be really careful. And I'm going to do a video and put it on TikTok about this, being careful. But yesterday I'm sitting here with Ron. We're watching the ball game. And as we're sitting there watching it, the phone rings. I answered it. I got a message from Google. My email account had been compromised, so it was going to have someone contact me. I went ahead and I answered the phone, and it was a man from Google. He said, "May I talk to Ralph Anderson?" I said, "May I ask who's calling?" He told me who it was. I said, "Okay." I said, "What is this involving?" He said, "Is this Ralph?" And I said, "Well, this is Mr. Anderson." I'm not going to tell him I'm Ralph. They're trying to get you to do things, and at least I was up on that one. They didn't get me there. Hey, Tony. So anyway, he said, "Mr. Anderson, did you get the message from us about your account being compromised?" I said, "I did, but I didn't answer it because I thought it was a scam." "Oh, no, sir, it's real." I said, "Okay." So, Mr. Anderson, someone has tried to change your phone number on your account. I said, "Okay." "Yeah, they want to go for the 815-426-2802. Now, the only people in the world that would know 815-426-2802 would have been Google, unless someone has broke into my account and went way back, because that was the very first cell phone number I ever had when I first got into get that Salve email address." And I said, "No, that's not my phone number." He said, "Is this your phone number?" And he read me my phone number. I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Is this the phone number you want to use, sir?" And I said, "Yes, it is." So he said, "Hold on, I have a few questions to ask. Nothing really personal, just asking him." He said, "Okay, sir, everything is set." I went home a little later, took my afternoon lay down just to rest, came back down, got on the call last night with Marianne for Bruce and the small call. And I'm sorry, man only speaks for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I can't call it a big call. I could call it the Three Stooges call, but I'm going to be nicer tonight. Try to be.
Poor Marianne had to wait an hour and 30
minutes. Marianne waited an hour and 35 minutes to hear him speak for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. He literally spoke more about Sue's products, promoting them, about Bob's products and promoting them. Oh, he had to get up twice while they were talking because he had special calls. He comes back, "I got special information." I guess he decided not to give it to us. And there was someone on Telegram, on our site today on Telegram, that made a statement. "I'm done with Bruce." Well, I'm going to talk a little about him in the show tonight, share a little bit what he is. But I think a lot of people's done with Bruce. As a matter of fact, I think I think his handlers are done with Bruce. Because why would a man that believes in the special beds as much as he say go out, and he made the statement last night, Bob's products is an investment in the health of your future. Why would you even worry about something like that at this particular time when we're about ready to get them special beds, and them products ain't going to be worth a pimple on a butt of anybody? It's all about money, money, money. I'm going to discuss that tonight. Finishing my story. When I left Ron's last night, at about 10:15, 10:30, I sat down, I started writing Julia. About 11:15, 11:20, I finished writing her, and I went to send, and it said it wouldn't send. I tried and it wouldn't send. I went to my backup phone. I just got a phone that I used to have that I can still send emails with. I can't call or anything, but I went to it, and I tried to send, and it wouldn't send. I think it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. I come down to Ron's. Might have been later. I come in his house, and he's in bed almost asleep, and I walked to his bedroom, and I said, "Hey, are you awake?" I said, "Hey, are you awake?" I said, "Ron." He goes, "What? What?" I said, "I thought you called me when you got in bed to let me know you were there." He said, "I was going to." It took me 3 times to wake him up, but that's okay. Me and him start working on what we can do. He says, Ron says, hey, maybe if we Google, we can find out how to fix your email account. Because my email account is pretty much shot after this guy promised me he fixed it. We Googled it and we found a way I could chat with someone online. They take all my information. And they say, well, I'm going to give this to a technician. And this is the part, guys, quit talking for a minute and listen to what I'm about to say. If you ever have trouble and you get to talk to a technician, or they're going to give it to a technician. If you give them your problems, don't go any further. Just hang up, because the next thing they're going to do is they're going to pop up a screen and you got to put your credit card or your debit card information in there. And I did. I was desperate to get my email back. I got so much stuff in that email that I wanted to get it back. I could have just went and opened a new account. But I wanted to get my stuff back. And I put all my information and I looked at Ron and I said, hey, this doesn't seem right. It cost absolutely nothing, Deborah. It cost absolutely nothing, Janet and Myrna, to do this. Why do they need the information? So I stopped. I just logged out. So I go back to the original lady that I chatted with. And she says, well, welcome back, but why didn't you complete what you started? And I said, because this doesn't seem right. What's going on? It doesn't seem right. She said, oh, everything's fine. And I said, but I don't. I lied to her. I told her I put my information in and they refused it. She said, well, just try it again. I said, no, I don't think so. For some reason, ma'am, I think this sounds like a scam. Oh, sir, why would you say that? I said, because it's as plain as the nose on my face. It's. I stood there and talked around. I was using my old phone. And all said, Ron, I got it. I can send an email with my old phone. So I got my letter through to Julia. Made me very happy. At least I knew that she was going to get her letter. And at least I knew that I could send emails from that. So I was okay. Receive and send. Couldn't get nothing to work on my new phone. I said, I'm going home, Ron. I'm going to just work on it down there. I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, Ron.
Oh, good.
3:30 in the morning, I finally sent Ron a message. An email. Hey, Sharetta. I finally sent him an email. I said, Ron, I don't know what I did. I really don't. But without using anybody's help, I got both phones where I can email and everything's fine. I stayed up for a few minutes more just to relax. I get up this morning and I went over to get a few things from the Dollar General. We needed some bread and we needed some things for my dog and we needed some peanut butter. And I went over to get it and I go to use my debit card and it says declined. What? I tried it again. It said declined. So I have to go up to the bank, which is only 4 or 5 blocks away. And I get some cash to come back and I paid for my stuff. I come home and I get an email from the fraud center, my email, my debit card. They're saying that I was scammed, and I called them, and they said, sir, are these charges real? And they read me the charge, and I said, no. Oh, that's one scam. Is this charge real? No. After I somehow putting my information in there, even though I didn't send it, they had it mirrored or something. So this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. If you don't feel comfortable, don't give your information to nobody anywhere, because even if you don't send it, they can actually give it and take it from you. They've tried 4 times in 6 minutes to charge $34.83, $34.87, $34.85, and $34.86, and the fraud center denied all of them. So now we have to cancel the account. I have to go back over to Hersher and get a new debit card. But I've got everything straightened out. Didn't lose anything except time. I'm just using this story tonight, guys, because what we're here to do is be a family and work together. So don't get involved with anything. Don't go to Google. Don't go to Google and try to get help.
And this is stuff the head should be stopping.
Huh?
And
And as Ron says over here, David Duffy, this is the stuff that the hat should be stopping. Why are we worrying about Iran? Which, there again, Mr. Truthful, Mr. Honesty comes on. I'm going to be speaking at this time on this day, and you don't want to miss this. Doesn't talk about giving seniors any money, doesn't talk about the United States doing the thing. I give them until 8 o'clock last night, Eastern time, or we're going to take everything that they have that they can use out. Oh, no! 8 o'clock last night comes and he says, we're going to give you a 2-week extension. Jesus, holy criminal. What is wrong with this man? Someone needs to slap him. I almost said someone. By the way, for all the kids, if you're on here tonight, this show is not meant for you. We will talk kids part in a few minutes. We will get into this in a few minutes. But this show is not made for you unless you have the permission from your parents, legal guardians, or grandparents. Someone who can give you permission that will stand up and say, hey, I told them it was okay. Like in my case, I have 5 grandkids. If my son and daughter-in-law says it's okay, if my daughter and son-in-law says it's okay to my grandkids, you're welcome to watch it. But Papa can't do it because it's my show. And even though I'm a grandparent to you, I can't tell you. So the kids understand this. The music we played, we have no legal rights to. So that's where we're at on that. Just be careful. You got that right, Myrna. Yes. But see, there's the thing. Okay. Tony X42Y2N just said, when they ask for money, it's always a scam. And that's the truth. But see, they didn't ask for money. And that's what really opened my eyes. What opened my eyes was they didn't ask for money. They just needed my information to know I was real. Anytime they ask for any of your card information, because they can do whatever they want. Hi, Papa G. Hey, Linda. Cindy, if you're on tonight, I will call you either tonight or early in the morning. Cindy tried to call me today to talk to me, and I was right in the middle of talking to the bank when I took her call, and I had to tell her I'll be back as soon as I can. So Cindy, if you're on, I will call you either tonight or tomorrow, but I started the show late tonight. I haven't even begun mine and Ron's supper, so I don't know what time we're going to eat and what time I'm going to have, but I promise you I will get back with you within the next short period of time. And I know you're going through some tough times too, and I'll gladly talk and listen to you. So that's what, you guys over here are as knowledgeable as me. I got caught up in some things. Luckily I got through everything. When I went to the store today and then my card wouldn't work, the lady at the store, even though she works in the town of Herscher, she says, see, Ralph, that's why I won't use a small bank, because you have no protection. And the truth of it is, of all the banks I've ever been involved with in my life, the people that protect me in this bank, they do it amazingly. Johnny, good to see you, John. So we just want to share that. And I'm going to put together a video and put it on TikTok. I'm going to put it there, but I'm also going to be able to take it and put it on here on YouTube. It's easier to record it on TikTok than it is here. I'm going to put it on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, just to warn people. But here's the deal, guys. Cindy, you saw it. Okay, Cindy. I just wanted to let you know I was still thinking about you. But here's the deal. For when you see the video here on Telegram and all over, take it. And I don't care if, like, when I started doing these shows, 107, And the guy that's junior, they say, that's Juan O'Sullivan. David Rodriguez and Juan O'Sullivan had just got back from a big event in Dallas. And they was pumped up, and they had a meeting that day when they got back, and they said, anybody, I don't care if you only got a couple followers, start promoting this, talking to people, get your own shows. The same day, I listened to an audio of Mr. Pillow, and I listened to everything he's went through, and I said, wow, I may never be a millionaire, but if he can do it, I can do it. I mean, he's no different than me. So I started the show that day. That's when I recorded the first one. And I sent to 12 people. But the 12 people I sent there, Ron included, I said, please send out to your followers. Ask your followers to send out to theirs. Post it on your social media sites. And that 12 people who I said to God that day when I talked to him, Janet and Jeffrey, I said, if I just change one person's life, if I have one person, if I just help one person, this is a win for me, and this is what you brought me here for. And I promised him that day that no matter how bad things got, I would not give up until we crossed the finish line. And I did the first video. 12 people I sent to, it turned in to over 36,000. Have we had trials and tribulations? Yes. We brought a lady in here that if you listened to her talk, you thought she was the sweetest woman in the world. But in essence, she's a devil in disguise. She came in here not to help you, Elaine, not to help you, Gary, Janet. She came in here to steal Ron and my show. But see, when she thought she had it, when she was asking for the right to get rid of us, see, the right to get rid of me and Ron in this show only relies on me and Ron, because we're never going to bring more than one more person in with us. So we hold majority stockholders. You see what I mean? And she literally called me up one day and said, I'm going to get all the people to kick you. She could have got all of you guys to go with her, but it wasn't going to stop me from doing the show, because I made a promise to God and Jesus Christ that day that I wouldn't stop. Have we lost a lot of people? Yeah. We lost a lot of people that I loved that went with her. Some of them have contacted me and said, I'm coming back. She was exactly, Lynn, that's good that your bank is very good. So also in my bank today, since we mentioned banks one more time, I want to go into that. So I'm talking to the lady today when I'm getting my new card ready. And she says to me, she sounded very young, very nice, very beautiful voice. And she says to me, you know, Ralph, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And I go, oh my God. And she says, what's the matter? I said, you sound so young. But that's an expression that my mom and dad used to tell me, Ron, my brother Russ, and my sister Rhoda. Growing up, we grew up with that saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And she said, oh, thank you. So thank you. So thank you. I said, why? She says, I'm not as young as you think. Yes, I do have a young voice. And I've seen you in our bank. And you have a very young look to you. But see, we live right because we don't let the bad take us down. We won't comply and we won't give in. So as she gets everything done, I says to her, I said, can I ask you a question? She said, you can ask me anything you want, Mr. Anderson, which I come to find out she lives 4 blocks straight over from Ron's house. I walk out Ron's door and go straight over 4 blocks and I'm at her house. She lives not even a block and a half from me. When you live in Buckingham, everybody's close, guys. She tells me, what is your question? And I said, don't call me Mr. Anderson. Call me Ralph, please. And she said, okay, Ralph. And I said, my question is, are you Basel III compliant? And she says, what is that? I said, never mind. Hi, Joe Phillips. She said, what is that? And I explained it to her. And I explained, if you're not, your bank would be closed. She says, I guess we are then. But she said, that's above my pay grade. But she says, even though it's above my pay grade, Ralph, I'm going to tell you a little secret because I know you're not going to tell anybody. And I'm telling my whole group. And I told her to talk to it on a show. She says, that's okay. A lot of people around here don't listen to your show. They say don't. She don't know nobody knows who I talked to. Was it the Hersher branch? Was it the Limestone branch of my bank? They don't know. And she said, well, I guess we are because we're still going and we're going strong. And I explained to her what was happening with other banks and why they was doing this. And she said, oh, I've heard about that. And then I talked to her about something called a SB, a special bed. But I didn't say SB to her. I told her what they were. And she says, I have a couple of friends that work in a hospital. And one day, me and these couple of friends, we were sharing, to make it nicely, they were sharing a couple of soda pops that weren't soda pops. And you know what? When a woman and a man drinks too many soda pops, kids, sometimes they can get goofy, if you know what I mean. Everyone here. And she said, all of a sudden, these two women that work at the hospital said to me, just wait. Any problem you've ever had in your life is going to be taken care of soon. We have them in both hospitals here in town. Everybody walks by them and sees, well, what's that? Well, we tell them it's something else. A lot of them, you don't even see them.
They wouldn't tell us it was something else.
If we see them, we know what they look like. And I said, hold on a second. She said, why? I said, what's your email address? And she told me. She trusted me. She asked me why. I said, I want to send you an email. She trusted me and she gave me her email address. I said, check your email if you can. She comes back about a minute and a half later and she says, that's exactly what they're telling me they seen because they showed me pictures. She said, what do you know about them? Well, for a lady that we were only supposed to help me get my new card back, I think an hour later we got off the phone. Guys, people are out there, John, Joe Phillips, Jeffrey, Myrna. People are out there. They're starving.
And
They're starving for information. They're starving for information and they're opening up their eyes if you'll just get to them. Don't be afraid of the one that says, I don't want to know nothing about that. On our Telegram page, we have a man. He really is good at posting. And I went in there the other day and he says, I've shared doing the gematria, what things are going on. I've shared this, I've shared that, but I really need to step away. So I hit the button and I replied to him. And I said, well, I'm going to hate to see you go, but don't go for too long because this group relies on you. I rely on you really a lot. I said, so just if you're going to go, if you need a moment or two to regroup, go ahead and do it, but don't go away long because we need you too much in this group. To my knowledge, he never left. Maybe it was because I give him a shot. Sometimes someone needs to just hear how much they're needed, how worthy they are, Before we go into the kids section, and this is going to I'm going to do the kids section. I want to talk about something else. I'm going to get off of this other scam stuff and that. So all the kids, Super Jimmy, Patriot 11, Patriot Karate Kid, Patriot Wyatt Earp, Patriot Princess, our queen, Patriot Hunter, her handsome brother, Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie, Patriot Little Leona and Little Elan, Patriot Cutie Pie and Patriot 17, Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot Little Gymnast who starts soccer on Sunday, Patriot 11, Patriot Small Hank, and Patriot Kira. Kids, there's a song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Why don't we change that song from Girls Just Want to Have Fun to Kids Should Want to Have Fun? The one thing I'll say about Patriot 7, if it's nice out, He don't care about electronics. He don't care about this. He don't care about that. He wants to go fishing. He wants to go hang out with his friends. He wants to go to the park and play ball. He wants to go to the park and play basketball, go to the park and play football, hang out with his friends. Patriots super gymnast. She likes to get out there. And that's what I'm hoping all of you kids want to do. Get outside. We're about ready to start getting good weather. I can feel it in my bones. We're about ready to get good weather, Janet and Myrna. So kids, just get out there. Get out there and have fun. I've got a very short go of tonight for the kids because, it's already 7:47. I was late coming on tonight. And I don't want to keep you much past 8 o'clock. Plus, I want to get something to eat. It's been a long time since lunch. And hello, Virginia. Hello, John. Right, John. Hey, Myrna. Wow, Jeffrey sang to Joe in his Elvis voice. I'd like to hear that, because Elvis is alive. So anyway, kids, just be kids. I was talking to the lady today on the phone. Guys, thought we was best friends. And we got talking about people not here and people are here. And she says, that's what these nurses are saying. And I'm thinking, wow. There's another lady that contacted me on one of my social sites, and she says, I'm a patriot. I said, so am I. We started talking last night. When I finally got my email fixed, I was so happy that I didn't go to bed right away. I don't think I got to bed till 4 or 4:30. And me and this lady's talking, and she's supposed to come on tonight. She wants to be part of the group, and I said, you can come on and chat. So if there's someone new tonight, I'll recognize her name. I don't have it written down, but I'll recognize it. If she comes on, she hasn't come on yet. I'll send her a message tonight and ask her why, but I give her the invitation to come, and she said she was going to be here. But kids, just be kids. Don't be like my grandson that says, Grandpa Hank, when you was a kid, did you get in trouble if you stayed on your cell phone or your tablet too long? What was a cell phone? What was a tablet? You know what a tablet was? It was a pad of paper that they'd call, hey, you got to have at least 2 tablets to start school. Why? I don't write that good. Why should I need 2 tablets? What do you think, Jeffrey in Virginia? Joe saying Jeffrey in my Elvis voice. Joe, you ought to call me. You ought to call me. We can get on the phone. I can put you on speakerphone and you can sing to the whole group. Let's hear that Elvis voice. Are you Elvis or are you Bob Joyce? Inquiring minds want to know. So we're in a stage right now, guys, where 1 minute I'm this low, next minute I'm this high. I don't listen to what the hat says anymore. Sorry. I believe in him. I love him. I believe he's the person that's going to take us where we need to go. But when a man will constantly in bad weather let people sleep out in the cold because he wants to go take care of another country so he'll look good. If a man's big accomplishment so far in the United States of America is to have, hold on. Hello.
Hello, what you doing?
I'm on my show.
Oh.
What's up?
You want to come over and hang out with the kids for a little bit tomorrow?
What time?
Meet them at the bus stop.
Oh, is tomorrow the day they get off?
No, but I have to work till 6.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But you can meet them at the bus stop, and then I get out at 6, so it'd be like 3:30 to
Till 6. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
All right, Liam has practice at 5, so he can ride his bike down there. Or you can take him
Either
wherever.
that or I'll take them down. They can play at the park.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, well, call me after your show.
I will. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing have for you tomorrow.
What's that?
Nothing have for you tomorrow.
Yeah. You heard the call, guys. My daughter needs me to babysit tomorrow. So Ron says no nap for me tomorrow. Might get a good nap though. We'll see. But like I said, I'm all over the place. But you know, one of the things that keep me going, and we have such an amazing group here, so loving and caring. And me and Ron's been talking about here recently. I've been mentioning a lot about Julia, about Masha, her best friend, about her mom, about the two kids that's, Patriot, Cutie Pie and Patriot 17, who the kids here in the United States of America have no idea what hardship is compared to these two kids. I've been mentioning a lot about Julia and me. She told me a few weeks ago that she went on a weekend to the orphanage, and she hadn't been there for 3 years because of the war. But yet when she went in there with her friend Masha, the two of them walked in, and when they walked in the door, kids 35, 40 feet across the building seen them and come running yelling, Miss Julia, Miss Masha, Miss Julia, we love you, we missed you. Kids 15 and 16 years old jumping into these girls' arms. They had tears running down their mind. And I've been mentioning this a lot. And see, when she did this, we have to have Redemption Center when we go there. We have to have projects. And my number one project is always be rebuilding my town. That's kind of went down to pretty much my last thing that I'm worried about, because the people in my town absolutely SUCKS. The people who run this town, the mayor, the board members, as long as you're in that, they'll do anything for you. I mean, anything for them. A while back, I had to move some stuff, and I said, can I use the town tractor? No, that's the town's tractor. They'd be responsible if you fell off of it and got hurt. You can't use it. But my next door neighbor tonight just went and got a whole big thing of black dirt dumped in his yard, and he needs to move it to where he needs it in his yard. But see, his daddy is a board member. His daddy's best friend is a board member. I'm getting ready to come down to do the show tonight. Oh, wow. Here comes the tractor moving it. And I go, hey, what the hell's going on here? What do you mean? What, you got to be a board member to use this stuff? And the whole thing is, the people that's on the board, I probably lived in this town more than any of them put together. Well, I know more than any of them put together. They're in a clique. It's the same thing. They're the cabal of Buckingham. And I came in tonight and I looked at Ron. I told him, I can't tell you what I told him because I was using some bombs. But I want to get back to the orphanage. I've always had a desire to help the children. And you guys always know that I've always talked about finding parents, whether they're mom and dad, mom and mom, dad and dad, or just a mom or just a dad. As long as when they get up in the morning, they got someone to get them ready for school. As long as when they come home at night, they got someone, and they're not in a building being taught by people that's not even really children. I want them the opportunity to do whatever they want in this world anytime they want. And that's a goal of mine. And I've talked to Julia, and she says, oh, Ralph, we have 3 or 4 orphanages over here. And then she says to me one day, she said, Ralph, you tell me the war is over. And I said, I believe it is. And I truthfully do, guys. I believe John and Tony and Linda, Patrick and Janet, I believe that the war is over there. They're just not announcing it because they got to make everybody suffer a little while longer. We're not suffered enough. The people over there haven't suffered enough. So we can't say it because the hat is not ready to announce it, because then what's it going to be? We're all going to be free, and everybody's going to go into the new 209 countries that signed that treaty. And then we're all going to have freedom. And she said, Ralph, think of it when it is over, if it is. Think of the empty chairs sitting at the kitchen table for the people who lost their son and daughter in this war. Think of the young girl whose fiance, boyfriend, or husband went off to the war, and now they're alone maybe with their own child. And I can relate to that because the Vietnam War, one of Ron's best friends and my brother Russ's best friend went off to the Vietnam War. He was within 21 days on his last mission, and a buddy of his in the platoon stepped on a mine and took out him and 6 other people. Needless to say, his second tour over there was only for 10 months. He made it 9 months and some days. Needless to say, when he was home, I think there was some misunderstanding there, because I think it was a 9-month tour, but his brother told me 10, but it couldn't have been, because when he was home, he got his fiance pregnant. She had the baby 3 days after they buried him. Saddest funeral I've ever been to. So think of that girl living all these years, over 50 years now, raising a daughter. She might be gone herself now. I don't know. But she says to me, we got to do something, Ralph. You say you want to work with the kids, and we can start right here in this country. The parents that are hurting, they've lost their children. We cannot bring the children back. We cannot bring them back. Their loved ones we cannot do. But what if we can show them how to adopt it? So we come up with this slogan from Field of Dreams. If we build it, they will come and ease the pain. And what we mean by that, if we build this thing in these orphanages and all of these places where kids are being mistreated and they need parents, if we build it and they can come in and adopt a parent and prove that they're worthy of them, we can fill that kitchen table, that kitchen chair. We can fill that empty bed. We can help maybe a young girl that's 19 or 20 years old. Maybe there's some kids that are 19 or 20 getting released that we can help them. But we can help ease the pain. And that, to me, I've never wanted to go to the Redemption Center about the money and everything so bad as I want to now. Because when I give this saying to them, and I've practiced it at home, guys, lots, and I can get it done in about 3 minutes to get my point across. And if they'd say, well, no, that's not good enough, then the people are doing it, or the cabal. Because I'm telling you, I've never been so much involved in something. There could be, doesn't have to be the war. It could be someone who lost their children. But we can fill them chairs. Them kids can have parents. Someone that will be there in the morning, the noon, and the night for them. Someone that on our birthday will buy them a birthday cake and sing happy birthday. And even if you're like my son-in-law's family, that after they sing happy birthday, they always sing, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good and they sing that. Why? I don't know, but it's a Granzo thing. Grandma Bo, she'll contest to it. It's a Granzo thing. But see, when I'm there at my grandkids' parties and they sing it like that, I never sing that part, because that's not an Anderson thing. That's a Granzo thing. And I know there was someone that used to sing with them, and they got the people got a little, it's theirs. But we can help everyone who wants the help. But the most important thing, we can help these children. And if that doesn't get into your skin and bones and make you feel better, if that doesn't look at you, Janet, and say, Ralph, I want to work this with you. If that doesn't get into you, Kevin and Bill and Linda, Patrick, if that doesn't say, hey, this is the greatest thing, but it doesn't stop there, guys, because we got to do the same thing for animals. Do we have to find every dog, cat, squirrel, whatever animal that we rescue and put them in a place where at least they got food every day to it whenever they need to eat? They got water. They got a place over their head. But it doesn't stop there, because then we have to make sure all the homeless have homes. We have to make sure if a homeless man is sitting out there, we make sure we get them to where they got to get so they can get their money and get in their own home and change their lives. If they need help, we get them on the bed. If they need more help because they've been stricken down so long, if they've been stricken down so long and they feel like they can't go on, we have to get them the help, to get the doctors to get into their head and show them we're going to a new world. And if that doesn't get you excited, Ian Bell and Deborah, Joe Phillips and Linda, Patrick, Kevin, if that doesn't get you excited, why? They say in order to get this money, you have to stay working if you're not a senior citizen. I'm a senior citizen and I'm going to work. But you know what? Just like I worked at the factory, I worked smart after I quit working next side to my one brother, not Ron. But when I quit working next side to him, instead of him doing certain things and me doing all the work and getting the credit, oh yeah, my brother was the greatest worker up there that didn't work. And you can ask Ron, he'll contest to it. And I'm not cutting my brother down. He was smarter than me at that time. He told me I couldn't do what he was doing. But yet I got high-led and I got moved out of the department. And what he was doing, I had to do for the whole department. But I wasn't good enough to do it working side by side him. People, I don't care who it is, will take advantage of you, Papa G. You know that. So, where are we? I don't know. Let's see. And if I'm yelling and talking a little loud tonight, guys, it's because when I get talking about this thing with the kids, about the animals, everybody here that wants to work with Patriot 5, Patriot 6, Humanitarian Group, if you've got ideas, we're open. See, because we want to create jobs. We want to do things. We want to change the way people get to live and the way things go. Yes, they are very proud. Veterans are. But now let me tell you a quick story before I go into what I'm going to talk about. A quick story. I go to this fast food restaurant the other day. I was hungry for a hot dog. Ron had already ate lunch. I had a doctor's appointment, so I didn't eat before I went, just in case he wanted to take me to do some tests that I couldn't have food in my system, because they do that sometimes with heart patients especially. So I didn't eat, and on the way after I got out of the doctor's, I was hungry. And I was hungry for a Chicago-style hot dog. And I go to this one place that they know they have them, and you get two of them with fries. Before COV, whatever, with a D, before then, that meal cost $4.99. Now the meal costs $7.99. But I thought, you know what? I can get me a Chicago-style hot dog. I'll get the second one. I'll take it home to Ron just to have a little something, because I didn't get him a whole great lunch that day, and I'll eat the French fries. I walk up. I go to the drive up, and I order, and I pull up, and this place has what's called senior drinks. Before COV, with the D at the end. Before that, their senior drinks was what, 70 cents, Ron?
I don't know.
65 or 70 cents. And you could drink all you wanted. If you got ready to go, you could take one with you. And I asked him at the window, I said, hey, can I get a senior drink to go with that? And they said, no, sir. And I said, why not? And he said, because we don't sell senior drinks to go. It's not right. And I said, why? If I come in and sit in there and eat my meal in there, you're going to have to clean up my mess. I can sit there and drink 4 or 5 senior drinks. It's going to cost you more, but you can't give me a senior drink to go. No, sir. I said, well, what do you do for your veterans? And that's what I wanted to say about the proud veterans. What do you want to do? What do you do for your veterans? And they say, we do nothing. And I said, well, you know what? There's a place everybody sits, all right? Everybody sits on a certain thing. And I said, you can take those Chicago-style hot dogs and them French fries and stick them right there. I won't never buy anything from you guys again. Not that you didn't take care of a senior, but you don't take care of seniors and you don't take care of veterans. And these people that's working this happen to be foreigners. I said, wow. And then you wonder why DJT does what he does. But it's 90% of the foreigners who are here legally, 95% that's here legally. They're the greatest people in the world. But these particular people, when the COV, that ends in a D, when that happened, oh my goodness, they doubled their prices. So I had to tell that story. Ron got some stuff for me here. Other people got some stuff. Attention, global financial emergency. The global currency reset is here. The world is about to go through a terrible financial collapse. The global currency reset, GCR, big N, big G, and the quantum financial system, QFS, are no longer just rumors. The storm here and the powerful are working hard to keep damage from spreading before you find out the truth. The Black Swan event happening right in front of us. The world's biggest economies are broke. The US, Canada, Europe, Japan, Israel, the UK, Taiwan, Australia, and New Zealand can't keep up with their debt any longer. The economy is falling apart, and the huge change is on the way that will affect everything. The Great Reset of the People's Reset, they want to keep you busy while they change the financial order in secret. The QFS is going to replace the corrupt banking system that has kept us through. People say the system is backed by gold and is fully decentralized. It will get rid of central banks and their criminal control over the world's money. The elites are aware that the time is running out for them. They need to crash. They need to crash it needs to crash to happen. That way, okay. They need you to be ready, but we can see through their lies. The emergency broadcast system, EBS, is on its way. The EBS is ready to go in the middle of all the chaos. Why? The world will enter a new era of financial independence when the market crash, banks go under, and the truth about Big N, Big G comes out. We've reached the point of no return. The Federal Reserve is no more. The IMF is in a hurry. The dollar is falling apart, and the fiat money system is going up in flames. What will come out of the ashes as far as system-backed, an asset that gives power back to the people? You need to do this right now. Get cash in hand before the banks close. Get rid of fiat money right away. Gold, silver, and cryptocurrency, XRP, XLM, XDC will be the new money base. Look for EBS activation. The last revolution is on its way. The elites are scared because the people are becoming aware the storm is here and nothing can stop what is about to happen. Get ready for the worst because the financial war is about to reach its peak. The green light is already given. Most will hear about it. So that brings me to a point of two things that happened today. One point is we're there, but they're trying to keep us preoccupied. And I know Lynn Date and I know Ian. I know all of us have said, I can't take no more. And we all are there. We are all there, Myrna. We're all there, Elaine. All of us, we get to the point where we can't take no more. But if you're like me, when I started this show, I made a promise I would see this through to the end. Is there days that I want to walk away? Is there days I want to walk outside where no one's around, go out for a walk and get a mile or 2 miles out of town and just scream, why? I do it in my car a lot. But then it hits me, why? Because we have to go through the bad. But what upsets me is when I keep hearing people, this is just a movie. Well, movies end, and they don't drag on like this. Or I hear someone say, well, we're going to get this, but then we never do. 5-6 months ago, they said we were going to get X amount of money every month. The next month, they said, well, we're going to get it double this month to make up for the month we missed. Can you just imagine, everyone, the money that we were supposed to get 6 months ago? If we get it for 6 months, boy, it's going to be a nice payout. Can you imagine how your life will change if you get that $2,000 a month for the next 3 years? And that's just a smokescreen because it's going to get everybody to get what we have coming, because $2,000 is going to feel like you got a quarter in your pocket. And that's hard to say. That's funny to say when it's like that. But this is the transfer of wealth that's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. There's a lady on this show tonight that I think the world of. She doesn't have no cryptocurrency. She said she didn't need it. She probably didn't believe in it. And I never pushed her to buy it. I've talked to her about it, but she didn't want it. And I respected that. But then the day that I found out that from the day we were born and they took our birth certificates from the day we were born, and they took them away from us. And I found out about this. I said, wow, they took this from us, but now look at what they're going to give us back. I read an article, and it's very long, but it was an article stating that, I can't remember the guy's name. What was the guy's name, Ron? About it was supposed to happen last night at 8:00. That we were supposed to get notifications last night. There was a rumor that we're ready to go. I read another article today that within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, I'm going to tell you something, people. We all talk about, the small call. And I'm not even going to waste my time tonight to talk about that. I've got one more thing I want to cover. It's not that I don't like the man. I think he does. I do. But he made a statement on a call last night promoting the other man's products. He made a statement last night that an investment in Bob's products is an investment in your health and your future. Now, what wonders me is he's coming on getting money for Sue and for him and for Bob, and that's how they have lived very, very good lives through all this. Why most people who refuse to do this because you're not supposed to, they don't. But when he says that, and then he talks about how he can't wait, how much he believes in these beds, how many of these beds are there. How would you believe in these beds if you're trying to get someone to purchase products now because it's an investment in your health and your future? Why is it an investment? Because once you get on the beds, you're not going to need them products. Plus, there's 6,000 patents that's going to be released. It's going to make them products look like they're just a baby aspirin compared to a Tylenol. Think of that. You take a baby aspirin when you're our age, what's it going to do to you? Nothing. You take a Tylenol and it's going to take away the pain, ease the pain. Confirmed intel, the Tier 4B protocol is now in use. What was once laughed as a rumor and a fantasy is now being carried out in a controlled way. Iraq, Vietnam, and Zimbabwe are quietly leading the charge in the economy that is happening outside the public markets. This change is happening because of structure, security, and silence. It is no longer just a guess that the IQD, VND, and ZIM will be worth more. It's a fact of life. For years, people who owned these currencies were made fun of, but institutions quietly got behind closed doors. Now what started as rumors have become real bank appointments, tiered across structures and private exchanges, process that runs through U.S. banking channels. The global currency reset is now in the execution phase, and Tier 4B is where the public finally comes into contact. Make sure people who own these currencies, when you get to your 800 number, when you make your call, don't go to a bank. A bank will give you money. You'll go in, and if you have VND, if you have Iraqi dinar, if you have Zim, they will not handle Zim. Zim will only be handled at a redemption center. But any currency you have, Bolivar, any other currency you have, they will give you probably a dollar for dollar because that's what it's going to go. And then they're going to turn around and they're going to cash it in for huge amounts. They'll give you dollar for dollar. And if you have 10 million Bolivar and you want 10 million is enough instead of going and maybe getting 100 million for it, that's your decision. But I'm asking you, please go to a redemption center. Everyone will have to go to a redemption center at some point. Even if you don't have currency, you have to go there to get your money that you have coming. Ever since the day you was born, you started having money, and they stole it from us. Why did they steal it from us? Because they didn't want us to go. And I was talking to a dear friend of mine, a gentleman in a store the other day, and I said, Cornell, I said, how you been doing? He said, Ralph, I'm hurting. I need some help. And I said, what's going on? He says, arthritis and just everything. He's going to be 70 years old this year. And I said, don't worry. Special beds are on the way. And he asked me to explain to him. And he said, you really believe in him? I said, yes. And I said, not only that, it's going to help us live. These things are going to help us live like they used to in the Old Testament. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I know you're a religious man. I know you study the Bible. He says, yes, I do. I said, that's what I'm talking about. I said, tell me, when you study the Old Testament, how old did they used to be? And he says, 400, 500. Some people would be 800, 900 years old. I said, why is it now that it's 70 and I'm 72, we feel like we're old? Or you do anyway. I still don't feel like I'm old. I act like it sometimes, but I never feel like it. And he said, I don't know. And he said, can you tell me more about this? And I opened up my phone. I went to this Telegram and I got a site there. I clicked on it. I said, read some of this. We stood there for 20 minutes and he says, oh my God, you made my day. He said, where would you get this? And I said, go to Telegram. He said, I got an account. I said, go there and just follow this account. They'll bring you information. Go to Google and do Google special beds. And I said it the other way. He said, wow. He looked at me and said, Ralph, I haven't seen you in a long time. We were great friends at the factory. There's not a lot of us left. I said, yeah, there's still a lot of us left. I said, it's just we're scattered out. We've lost a lot, but there's still a lot of us left. And he said, yeah. And he says, I said, and a lot of us is left is going to live a long, long time. Why? I don't know. Why did God choose us? I don't know. March morning light. I'm hearing lots of rumors on bonds, movement on bonds, all this good stuff in bonds. Things really started to move, but I cannot confirm it to the point of 100%. I'm not 100% willing to say absolutely. We are rolling really well. I'm getting a lot of chatter and flack on that side, but I'm not getting anyone willing to give me a dead 100% answer. Member Mike Barra is saying tonight for the release of the RV at 8 o'clock. That's what I was talking about. This was yesterday, and this was yesterday when they were saying that they thought. Mike Barra also goes on to say, if it's not last night at 8 p.m., it should be within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, there's a guy on a call called the Big Call, and that's what he says. Every Tuesday night, he says the same thing. It won't happen until Wednesday or Thursday, Friday of the week. Then all of a sudden, it should happen by noon tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm sick and tired of people just trying to make money off of people and using and abusing them. Restored Republic, the reading part. Judy Bidington, a recent report, Judy Bidington, and dated Wednesday, 8 April 2026, offers detailed day-by-day account of world undergoing of radical financial and governmental transformation. Let's break down the key claims and themes presented in the update. The report posts that on Monday, April 6, 2026, a monumental shift occurred. The quantum financial system, QFS, allegedly became operational across 209 nations, introducing gold asset-backed currencies to replace the current fiat system, which is described as debt-free slavery. This event is framed as a sovereign victory over with former President Donald the Hat ripping control from the CABAL and restoring the U.S. Treasury. The promised benefits are staggering. The abolition of income taxes, the end of the IRS, the launch of prosperity funds for the public. The update further claims that on Tuesday, April 7th, global banking systems went briefly dark to erase old debts with Starlink satellites broadcast themes changing to the world. The mandatory shift, the ISO 222 messaging standards real world banking modernization effort is used to lend a veneer of technical credibility to these extraordinary claims. The report dives into specific resets. April 6th, it mentions global banking hubs in Zurich, Reno, and Hong Kong. It also mentions that the Chinese elders are in charge of all of the banks of where we're going to be exchanges, and we'll be sending out currencies like IQD at $9.35, the Vietnamese dong, VND, at $5.89, which will be higher if you go to a redemption center. Do not go to a bank. Stay calm, stay alert, and stay ready to receive what you're about ready to receive. We will be going to no income tax. We will be going to no taxes. The only taxes will be 14 or 18% on anything that is brand new. No medicines, no food, nothing like that will be taxed. We are about to unleash where the Federal Reserve will be going in where they need to be. Everything will change. We're about to experience the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the world. The bad people have been taken into custody. There's only a few more that we have to round up, and it will be happening soon. So just stay grounded, stay alert, and stay ready to go. When your time comes, it's going to be the greatest time of your life. Stay safe. Stay out of the way of the military and let them do their jobs, as it's all in the hands of the military. So in essence, just be ready, folks, because your life is about to change in ways you never thought. Life-altering wealth, rigorous scrutiny, and consultation with trusted professional advisors are the best course of action. With that, everyone, I've talked as much as I can talk tonight. I'm going to say a prayer, then I'm going to say good night. And even though I was 15 minutes late or 20 minutes late coming in, I'm 20 minutes over. So we did get the hour in. As a matter of fact, I'm at an hour and 6 minutes right now. I want to thank everybody, Deborah and Janet and Bill and Lindate, everyone that's here. I can't see all your names, John and that, but everybody here that stuck around. We have 86 people. I can remember when you used to have 1,000 people on here on the show, but I don't care because 86 means more to me than 1,000, because it's people that love this group, love these people as friends, and that's what it's all about. We're friends, family, and loved ones. Be ready for what's about to come. Take a deep breath and just say, okay, Lord, I'm with you. I'll stand by you, and we're going to get this thing done together. As I say good night, God bless everyone, and I'll see you later. Dear Lord, as we say tonight, good night, and wish everybody nothing but the best. Look after us, Lord. Help us get to where we want to get. This is for you, Lord. This is for us to help you make your world, your whole wide world, the way it was. When I was a kid growing up, Lord, I used to go to a place every Labor Day and they would sing, they got the whole world by your hand. You got the whole wide world by your hand. You got the whole world by your hand. And then it would go on. And I miss that song because people got out of touch, Lord. But now you got the people coming back. You chose the greatest generation of people in the world to lead this charge. And with the kids, what we're going to teach the kids, us and the kids in between, everyone in between will open their eyes. It's a shame they have to wait to get the money before they open their eyes, but they will. I'm sick and tired, Lord, of hearing someone say, all I want is the money. Why? You should want your family to be healthy. You should want your health. What good, Lord? What good is money if we don't have our health? So help us, Lord. Help us get to these special beds. Help us get these 600 patents released. But most of all, help us get to your world as heaven on earth like you've always wanted it. And help us save every child, every animal that needs help. All of us working together, Lord, we can make this happen as we come to you, pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. God bless, and we love you all.